Hi, I'm Katie Morales, here to discuss an issue all healthcare workers should know about. Violence in healthcare facilities often goes unreported due to the persistent perception assaults are part of the job. Half of all non-fatal injuries resulting from workplace assaults occur in healthcare settings. Patients commit most of the assaults. Patients may be confused, disoriented, or suffer from mental illness. When needs don't get met in a timely manner, the level of anger and anxiety builds, diminishing coping skills. Nurses are often the target of anger, regardless of whether they had anything to do with it. Guidelines have been issued to promote worker safety. The thousands of attacks on nurses each year have prompted introduction of legislation in many states, making assault on a nurse a Class C felony. When a nurse is injured by a patient, the nurse has legal recourse under criminal and civil law. The nurse has the right to press criminal charges when threatened or intentionally harmed by a patient. Once the situation has been diffused, if you elect to press charges, notify the police as soon as possible after completing an incident report. Submit a detailed written report to your supervisor as soon as possible, even if you're not sure you need medical attention. The police will investigate, and the district attorney will decide whether or not to prosecute the case. In deciding to try a case, the key factors are: was the risk of harm foreseeable? Is the patient mentally competent? Can someone under professional medical treatment control and understand the consequences of his behavior? To some degree, nurses can expect the risk of being struck by a patient and should acquire the skills, knowledge, and resources to avoid injury. Healthcare workers are expected to foresee a reasonable danger inherent in dealing with patients with dementia or institutionalized with mental disabilities. Nurses are entitled to workers' compensation for injuries sustained on the job, whether inflicted intentionally or not. Workers' compensation will help employees cover the cost of medical treatment and wages lost due to injuries, including injuries caused by a patient, provided you were acting within the scope of your practice at the time. Agency, private duty, or per diem nurses typically are not covered. Workers' compensation is no-fault insurance. It does not matter if negligence of a nurse or employer contributed to the injury. You cannot be held accountable by the employer, and you cannot sue the employer. You may, however, sue a third party, such as the patient. Workers' compensation varies from state to state, with a separate compensation for federal employees. There are no awards for pain and suffering with workers' compensation. Most states have a benefit for temporary disability. Permanent or partial disability usually is awarded on a flat fee. If you're unable to return to work, the reward is based on the loss of earning power. If serious or permanent injury results in pain and suffering, a civil suit may be filed against the patient to seek monetary compensation. However, the nurse may be subjected to scrutiny. Many patients do not have assets or personal liability insurance. Homeowners insurance will typically disclaim injury for intentional harm. This is an example of how nurses are often caught in the middle. Criminal charges cannot be filed because the patient's not in his right mind, but the homeowners won't pay for intentional injury. Even if the jury finds in your favor, you may not receive compensation or may have to reimburse workers' compensation. Contact an attorney specializing in personal injury. I'm Katie Morales. For more information or to contact me, please visit my website, discernment.biz. Thank you very much.